So much for not fucking up a bunch. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be trying the new Moonspell Volume 2 palette from Lunar Beauty. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Colin and I am a non-binary Latinx scientist and lover of makeup, especially colorful makeup, indie makeup. And if that sounds interesting to you, I'd love to have you subscribe. I'm fairly new here to YouTube, but I do have new content every week. So this retails for $48, I believe. And then there were 2 lip glosses and a lipstick that came in the collection as well that were $16 and $17 respectively. And then there was a bundle. So there were 2 bundles. One that I got that was $80 for all 3 lips and the palette. It was cheaper to get all 3 lips and the palette as a bundle than just buy the 1 lip gloss. I wanted the 1 lipstick and the palette. That was gonna be like $85 or something. And then there was one that was $105 that also included his brush set. So this is the outer box that the palette comes in. Just like the original one, it looks like a spell book, which the original Moonspell is the only other Lunar Beauty palette I have. I would like more from them, I just haven't bought any. And they're almost the same size. So the original was 15 shades. So the original was 15 shades and the new one is 20. And I know Manny talked about in his video how the normal lab that makes this makeup was gonna cost more. It's gonna end up making the price go up to like 60 bucks. So he went with making it in China, and because it was so much cheaper for him, he was able to, for the same price, have more shades. But that does mean that they don't match anymore, which my OCD doesn't love. Like I do have OCD. Steven and Rupi can tell you that talking to me, you can definitely tell. So they're slightly different in size, but not too much, and they'll fit next to each other on my shelf. And then the lips came in this little component here, which has these really beautiful hands with like stars and waves on them. And then the actual components of the lips, if I can open them, look like this. So this is one of the glosses. I haven't opened the other one, and this is the liquid lipstick, which was an orange, and I had to have it. So this is Hallows Eve, and it's just a beautiful orange. I thought about wearing it today, but I wasn't sure if it would look okay with the eye looks I have in mind. So I just went with the gloss, and that is the shade Bitchcraft, which was the other one that I was gonna buy. The third shade is like a clear gloss called Coven. And that one I was like, I don't need it, it's fine. But when it came to the price of getting all of them being cheaper, I was like, I'll still use it, it's fine. I've heard great things about Manny's lip gloss, so I'm really excited to have these now. I haven't tried the lip yet, but this is the second day I've worn the lip gloss. So this showed up last night, but it was too dark to try and film. I had to eat dinner and stuff, and I just didn't have time. So I did try out this lip gloss. So when I went to the store to get dinner stuff, I did wear this. Obviously I had a mask on for part of that, but when I was walking outside, I didn't. Since I live in a very walkable area, I walk to the store. And it's what I have on now. So it's a really pretty ruby color with some sparkle, and you can kind of see it in the component. There's like some gold and stuff sparkle in it. On the lip, it's more subtle, and it just is a really beautiful, subtle red tint that I really like this. It does have a pretty strong scent. It smells like cake, like birthday cake, but it fades like as soon as you put it on. It's just strong when you open the tube. So just like the original palette, the volume 2 slides out of the sleeve, and then you have the spell book. So if you have the original, this is what they look side by side. You can see there's some minor differences in the icons that he put around. The back looks exactly the same, and it still looks like a little book. And then the shades are the same size. You get a nice huge mirror. And this is the color story, which I'm sure everyone's seen. It's kind of hard to show on camera because it's reflecting off my ring light, but you can see it's pink and purple focused and red, pink, purple, red. I love purple. I don't wear a lot of red, but I do really enjoy red periodically, especially some of these like this deep burgundy queenie shade. And I know I have to use the shade Willow today because Willow from Buffy, Willow Rosenberg, is my favorite witch of all time. I've I've seen Buffy all the way through like at least 100 times. Like I've seen it way too many times. So I'm really excited to try this. I'm gonna do 2 looks today. So this is the first impression, 2 looks. I'm gonna do 1 in each eye. I think I'm gonna do a colorful look on this side and a neutrally look on this side with like Mel and Sally. I've seen a couple people post things about this so far, and everything I've seen has been monochromatic red, monochromatic purple. So I wanted to do something that kind of mixes the two on one eye and then try out the more neutral shades on the other. So just looking at it, you can see there's a few different finishes, especially in the shimmers. So like Louise and Grams and Myrtle look a little more subdued and not as sparkly. Zelda looks kind of the same, and so does Misty, but they have a little bit more sparkle to them. Agatha looks like a pretty iridescent shade. Mildred looks a little more textured, and then Luna is the most sparkly, and so I have to use that. Plus, I think it's Luna Love Code, so, you know, have to. I love that he names everybody after the... I love that he names all the shades after witches. I love that he put Sally and Jillian from Practical Magic on here. It's one of my favorite movies. And because he had the original Charm Sisters, all 4 in the original palette, he's got the ones from the new reboot. So he's got Maggie, Mel, and Macy here, and then Grams from the original show. So I'm really excited to try this. I don't think I'll do swatches just because they take a while, and there's lots of swatches out there. From what I can tell, I've already touched a couple of these, and they look very true to pan, so you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, I think I'll swatch the shimmers only because the mattes look pretty true to pan in the couple that I've touched so far because I couldn't wait last night. So let's see, I'm gonna try Agatha, Luna, Mildred, and Myrtle. So yeah, those are really pretty. So far feels fairly similar to the original formula. See, that's like an iridescent white. This shade, this Myrtle shade is beautiful. I can't wait to wear that, and I can't wait to wear this one. Mildred's a really pretty kind of neutral rosy copper shade. So I'll put those on the back of my hand. Yeah, that's just like an iridescent white sparkly topper shade. Oh yeah, that's really beautiful. It's pink with like gold and blue sparkles. And then there is Mildred, which yeah, is a very like neutrally taupe, or not neutral, like a rose gold, but it's got some sparkle in it. It's got some pink and some gold in there. And then that's a really beautiful blue purple duochrome, which I'm a sucker for. So I'll swatch the last few here. So there's Misty, which is from American Horror Story, just like Queenie. Louise feels really soft. Zelda feels a little more textured. And then there's Grams, which is a nice red, like ruby shade. So those are all really beautiful. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 shimmers, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11. 11 true mattes, and then this one, Mary, is like a matte black with multicolored sparkle in it. Not normally my favorite kind of formula. So you can see I already have a little bit of willow on my hand right there. Okay, so that's really beautiful. That was Misty. It's a nice pink with some gold. Yeah, it's like a pink gold. That is Louise, which is just a pretty true purple. Very metallic, less shimmery. And then there is Zelda, which is red with purple sparkle. And then Grams is just like a nice true ruby red. So the purple makes that turn a little more pink. So that's what those look like on me. Again, I have a medium olive skin tone, if you didn't already know. So that's what those look like on me. So I did my base. It's my fairly standard base. I'll have all the details below. And then my blush today is my Melt Cream Blush in Sandy Cheeks, which is like an orangey neutral for me. And then my highlighter is Kosas, the Ray Rider, the champagne. I wanted to go kind of neutral for my face since I wasn't sure exactly what I'd be doing on the eyes. So I think I'm gonna do the colorful side first over here, and then I'll try the neutrals over here. So I think I'm gonna start with, Freya is like a corally pink, and Cameron is a little more, less pink, but still kind of coral. So I think I'm gonna start with Cameron and then use Willow as the majority shade. So I'm gonna take a little bit of Cameron on a diffused crease brush. This is an E38 from Sigma. And I'm gonna put that all over as a transition. Also, let me know what you think of the lighting. I turned this light off because I realized it has a fairly warm light and it was making me, especially when I took photos that weren't with as good of natural light from the windows. So I'm hoping that fixes it. So this is a really pretty, this is just a nice coral. So far it's blending nicely. I haven't really watched reviews of this yet just because I, didn't want to spoil anything. I know Millie, Bad to the Brow, posted one and I did watch hers, and Kara C posted something and I watched hers, but I haven't seen any others. I don't know how many are out there yet, but I was too impatient to hold off. I know Karen Harris has one out too, and her thumbnail made it look like she didn't like it, but I haven't actually watched hers yet. So that's a really pretty shade. I will definitely be using that one more. I have a feeling that's going to be kind of a go-to. And then on this detailed blending in E24, I'm going to take Willow because she's my favorite. I have to. This is clean. I just washed all my brushes, but you can see I can't get the staining to go fully away. I used too many blues. And I only have one little tub of eye brushes. All my face brushes are in the bathroom still. So that picked up very nicely. It's a very bright, true red. So I'm gonna place that out here and blend it into Cameron. I have no idea who Cameron is. The name does not ring a bell. Most of these I know. A couple of them I don't. Like, I'm not sure who Alex is. Okay, now that Bean isn't working anymore, I'm just gonna keep packing this on my outer V and into the crease a little bit. I wanted to film this earlier, but it's been a busy day. We worked out, and I couldn't work out for a couple days because I had a really bad migraine, and so I was kind of just in bed. I have a prescription medication for them, but it makes them better, but I'm still kind of incapacitated when they happen, so I'm behind on like answering student emails and stuff too. But there's always tomorrow to do that. It's also kind of a weird day. I had a phone call with my cousin earlier because today is 11. Today is 18 years since my mom died. So it's always a weird time of year around my birthday. I also spent a lot of my birthdays as a child sick. So when people are like, oh, do you love your birthday? I'm like, I've had good ones, especially the last few years. But like, historically as a child, they were not great. And then, right after I turned 14. Okay, so this is a really pretty true red. It doesn't seem to be blending out pink. The only pink that you're really seeing is the little bit in the coral from Cameron. But like blending the edge of my outer corner onto my lid, it still looks red. It doesn't look pink, where there is nothing else. So that's a good sign. And they're blending together really nicely. I have no complaints about this so far. And then I think I'm gonna start on the lower lash line already. And I'm gonna tempted to take Maggie, which is a little more plummy, but I think I'm gonna take Hilda and blend it out with Jillian and put that on my lower lash line. I'm trying to mix the, might end up taking Maggie on the outer part of it too. I'm trying to do pink, the purples and the reds. I don't want to just do one. I'm not the biggest fan of monochromatic looks or palettes. On other people, sure, but on myself, no. I just don't find them inspiring. I like contrast too much. Okay, so that's really pretty. A nice pretty purple. I'm gonna take a little bit of Maggie, rub it right here just for a little darker plumminess, because then I'm gonna take Macy, the darker purple, and then maybe the black to deepen my outer corner. I could also take Queenie, but it's still on that burgundy side, so I want to mix things up a little bit more than that. So far this just seems like the same formula as before. It's pigmented, it blends pretty easily. I don't have any kind of patchiness or anything. There's a little bit of streakiness right here, but a lot of shadows. Do that on me until I blend. So I'm just gonna take a little bit more of camera and kind of pack it on. And yeah, now the streakiness is gone. That's just a problem I have, like right there. Okay, so next I'm gonna take Macy, the dark purple, and pick that up on this. This is a detailed, this is a firm blender from in E42 from Sigma. And I'm gonna put that right here. I'm curious to see what other people do with this. Especially, I feel like there's other purple red kind of palettes out there. The Natasha Denona Love palette is kind of similar in purple, reds, pinks. I do not have that one though. So I'm curious how similar they actually are. I would do comparisons if I had the other. So I'm just tapping this purple right here, and it's blending into Willow really beautifully. And then I'm gonna probably go back in with Willow and make sure that I didn't lose any of the red right here. So it kind of goes Cameron, Willow, Macy, and a nice blend. Not like a true two-tone crease, but you know, a nice gradient. Yeah, put a little bit more of Willow there and it's building up the red nicely. I really like the purple and red blending together. And then on this Sigma blending brush, an E25, nice fluffy one. You can see this one the blue came off of. It's not quite white anymore though. I'm gonna take a little bit of Jillian, that lighter lilac shade, and I'm just gonna blend out the lower lash line a little. Just get all of the matte work done. So that looks beautiful. And I have no fallout, by the way. And there's, you can see where I've made dents in each shade. There's a little bit of kick up, but it's not like all over the palette or anything. Or like a pile in the shadow. You can just see where the brush hit it. So I don't know if I'll need it, but I'm gonna use my NYX glitter glue like usual. And just put that on this little flat brush. That was more than I needed. And ooh, this hand is all kinds of sparkly. And I'm just gonna pat that all over my lid. And then I'll probably go, once I do the shimmers, I'll probably put more of that purple shade down. And then maybe a little black to even it up even more if I feel like I've lost some depth. But it looks pretty good so far. And then on this Morphe 124, it's just my flat shader brush that I use for shimmers, I'm going to use Luna. I just have to. I might use like Myrtle on the outer part so that the purple matte blends into the purple shimmer, but we'll see. But I'm gonna use Luna first. So I just go, for these kind of shimmers, I'm just gonna go wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Picks up very nicely. And I'm just gonna put that all over most of my lid. So yeah, this is like pink, silver, blue, maybe some gold. Yeah, there's some gold in there too. Really beautiful shade. And that silver really makes it look wet, at least in person. Hopefully that translates to on camera as well, but in person it just looks really wet. Probably with a finger it would look even more so. There are some little sparkle particles kind of going all over though. And then I'm gonna take Myrtle, which is the purple blue shade, instead of just the plain purple Louise. And I'm gonna put that right here to kind of blend the edges together. I might actually take a little bit of the Louise shade too, because I think it's a little deeper. So I feel like Luna might work also well as a topper, but it's opaque enough, especially over the glitter glue, that it's really shining. But I feel like it would transform any of the other shimmers quite well. And I think that's the point of Agatha as well, because I think Agatha has definitely has less of a base color. And then back to that little packing firm blender, I'm gonna take a little bit more of Macy and pack that right here, just to make sure the purple isn't lost. And then I'm gonna take the same brush and tap lightly into Mari, I'm not sure, M-A-R-I-E, and put that right there. And then I just wipe off the excess and blend it up and down. So I find the trick, if you're nervous to work with black eyeshadow, is just take like the tiniest bit and then just on a small brush, and then just be very careful. It normally builds up pretty easily without needing a lot of pigment, unless you have a crappy black shade. I've definitely used some blacks that are more pigmented than others. This one seems to work really well, and I tapped it so I don't have any like sparkles all over. I do have some sparkles on my nose, but that's from that Luna shade. I'm gonna take a pencil brush and Agatha, which is that sheer kind of toppery shade, but it's more firmly pressed than Luna. It's not as chunky. And I'm gonna put that on my inner corner, blend it into Luna, and then down here a little bit. Okay, so I really like that, and you can see how wet that looks. So I'm gonna go do the other eye, and then I'll do mascara and stuff at the end. Okay, yeah, so there's no shadow coming off. So this is that same diffuse crease brush. So on this side, I'm gonna do Sally, Mel, maybe this black again, and then I'm thinking maybe Mildred and Misty on the lid. So let's take Sally, which is more orange. You can see it's kind of like a salmony orange. It's not quite like a pumpkin orange. Tap that off, and I'm just gonna blend that all over. Okay, it looks a little more pumpkin-y orange, like true orange on the lid. But you know what? I'm okay with that. Yeah, it's an interesting orange. It's not like a pumpkin orange, but it's not, I don't know. I don't know what he described this shade as. I forget. I did watch his launch video, obviously. I actually had it up and I was watching, and then I saw like a little bit of the packaging. I saw him do some of the swatches. I skipped ahead to the swatches, went, okay, went back, ordered the palette, and then finished the rest of the video. Because especially if there was like a bundle deal, I didn't want to miss it by waiting around. So I had like the video on my phone and the palette up on my computer, and it was just like, yep, okay, I'm buying it. That's a really pretty shade. It is very vibrant. It looks more vibrant on the eye than it does in the pan, I think. But that could also just be the background kind of muting it, because the background is so reflective. blend it out beautifully, like very little effort. Okay, and then on diffused blending brush, I'm gonna take the shade Mel, which is that bottom line of like more taupey neutral shade. And I'm going to pick that up, tap a little off, and I'm gonna swipe that right here for some depth. Yeah, that's like a brown, like a kind of a cool brown. I think I need to go back in with some orange and build up a little higher, because if I do this, you can't really see the orange. But you can definitely see these shades. The red looks a little pink next to the purple, so you can definitely avoid using the purples and just stick with like Queenie and like Grams and those red tones and do like a very monochromatic red look. This turned it a little more pink, but you know what, I'm fine with that. So this shade doesn't feel as pigmented as some of the others, but it's still working really nicely. And then I'm gonna blend that into the crease. And I will definitely need to take Queenie or that black shade or something for some depth, just because I want some. You could do a very easy, I feel like you could do a very easy work appropriate eye by taking just Mel all over the lid, just packing it on and then using Sally or something to blend the edges with. And then I think for the lower lash line, I'm just gonna take Mel. I'm gonna go a little basic and neutral and simple on the side. And I'm just gonna pack that from the outer V, and then I just lightly swipe what's left here. I don't want to close off my eye too much. This palette is so big and the mirror so big that I'm trying to like not block the camera or smack the ring light, but also be at an angle where I'm on camera. And then yeah, I think I'm gonna take Queenie, which is the burgundy, and a tiny bit of the black, do like a tap of the black and mostly Queenie. And I'm gonna put that right here for some extra depth. But I want the warmth of the burgundy in Queenie. And then that's just on my little Sigma brush that I was using before. So I'm just taking a little bit of the black by itself and running it right here against the lash line. Yeah, you can see it's not the darkest black, so it works well right here. You don't want it overly pigmented where you like can't go subtle. So I'm taking a little bit of NYX glitter glue again, and I'm just gonna, like usual, pack that all over here. I use this with basically all shimmers. And then I'm gonna go into Mildred, which is the more neutral, like rosy copper, rosy gold shade. Swirl that around a little bit. That picked up very nicely. And I'm just gonna put that all over. I think I'm just gonna do the one shimmer. I might put Misty, the pink shade, on my inner corner. Yeah, this is really pretty. It's like a rose gold with a little bit of a pink flip. Very daily friendly shade. Like I would even use other more neutral mattes and just throw that on the lid. Or even just use that all over the, or just use Mildred all over the lid and blend the edges with Mel and call it a day. And then yeah, I'm gonna take a little bit of Misty, the pinky one in the corner, like pink and gold. And I'm gonna put that right here, just to add a little bit of a pop of something. Since there's some pink reflect in the like coppery shade, bring some of that pink, like a more prominent pink tone in. Let me turn this down a little bit. Blends beautifully into Mildred. Okay, so I'm gonna go put mascara and all of that on, and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and these are the finished looks. This eye looks way bigger than this one. I went ahead and put a little bit more of the lip gloss on. I thought about trying the lip, and I think the lip would work well with this look, but not this one. So I'm glad I stuck with, you know, this kind of fairly neutral gloss. I went ahead and put my Urban Decay mascara on, my Haus Labs liquid liner on the top, And then on this side, I used the pale pink, which is Open Wide from Haus. And on this side, I did the black, which is probably why this side looks smaller, but it just felt like that kind of smoky look would work well with this. So obviously this is just a first impression, but so far I'm really happy with all of the shades in this. So I've now used the entire top row of shimmers, and then I've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Used 9-ish, 10 of the mattes. But I'll keep playing with this. I'll do more of a monochromatic red look. I'll do more of a purple look. I'll try using some of the pinks like this Alex shade. But so far this seems to be the same quality as the other Moonspell. So if you were worried about it being made in China versus the other one, it doesn't seem like it impacted the quality, which I wouldn't expect. Mainly. So this palette is limited edition. So the other one was limited edition, but was around for a while. Like I got it on sale way later, I think during a restock. I think he said this won't be restocked at all. So once it's gone, it's gone. So if you're interested in it, I would definitely say go ahead and try it. I think the quality is great. So if you're into the color store and you like their formula, or if you have been wanting to try them and you like the color story, I think it's definitely worth a shot. So I'd love to know what you think in the comments below about either of these looks, both of these looks. If you've grabbed this, what you think of it, if you are going to grab it or not, all of that. I'm really happy with my purchase so far. I do want to try some more of his lip products, and I still need to get his blush palette. I almost bought the brushes and some lashes because I do need some more lashes, but I was spending enough already. Figured I'd wait for another time, but I do really want to try his lashes and his brushes. So if you've tried those, please let me know, especially the lashes. So I have a few other new things that I just got as birthday presents and stuff. So I'm going to be doing videos of some of those, maybe all of them, and I'll keep playing with these on days that I go to work, doing, you know, a look before I go teach. So I will do a roundup, more actual review later. I think, you know, at the end of the month, I'll just do one of those, here's everything I tried the month things. I didn't do it last month because I only tried a couple things and it was my first month on here, but I will be starting to do that soon. So if there's anything that I do as a first impression, I will come back and talk about it later. So I'm really excited to keep playing with this. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video.